Welcome to the E.A.T podcast. This is episode number 8. I'm your host, Jerry. Tonight, we're going to have two special guests in the show, Weirdo and Beardo from the Weirdo and Beardo podcast. Russ is not going to be with us tonight. Believe it or not, Russ is actually interviewing for the New York Ranger head coaching job, which I didn't believe at first when I heard it, but he told me he's interviewing, and not to bother him right now, but he will give us a recap when he comes back on the next show. But tonight, we're going to have Weirdo and Beardo on. They are very heavily involved in crypto. They talk about stocks. They have a website. They're active on Twitter. And we both got something in common, our show and their show, and that's that we both want to get Takeover Joe on the show and do an interview with him about Takeover Industries, LTNC. Everybody knows about it. We're all invested in it. We all hear about it, follow it. It's the gift that keeps on giving with everything that's got going on with it. But Weirdo and Beardo are Mike and Derek, and let me just get through current events quick, and then I'll get them on. So just real quick, Tesla drops the idea of taking Bitcoin as payment due to the environmental concerns, which Russ brought up a few weeks ago. And he basically said, when are all the people going to start realizing that crypto uses too much energy and it's not a good thing? So I guess Russ was looking into the crystal ball and the future, so to speak, and realized that this was going to come down the pike, and it certainly did, because Elon tweeted about it, saying he's now working with Doge developers to get something going with them, and possibly are implying that he was going to start taking Doge as payment for Tesla. But this is Elon Musk. You have to stay tuned to his Twitter, and every time he does tweet something about crypto, the crypto itself, the currency does move like a stock up and down based on the tweets that come out of him. Also, one final thing. We had a major pipeline hack. There were gas lines everywhere down south. The pipeline controlled about 45% or so of the gas that was coming to the Northeast. So basically, I don't like to get political on the show, but I'm going to for a second. In roughly 120 days or so, we went from being the number one oil exporter to gas shortages. Go figure, right? It's definitely something to keep an eye on and stock up if you have to. But here we go. Let's get into the Weirdo and Beardo part of the show. I'm going to bring them on the stream right now. They're from Boston. Hey, guys, what's going on?
How's it going?
How are you? We got the New York-Boston thing going on. I got my accent. You got yours. Ready to go.
I hope you can tell who's who.
Yeah, I think I can tell who's who. So, guys, how's it going? How's it been? I know you guys started your podcast right around the time that we started ours, and you got a website. You're actively involved on Twitter. Let's get into real quick. What was the idea behind the podcast and the website and the blog and everything you guys do, and what made you want to get in the world that we're all in now?
So for myself, I've been learning to trade, invest, kind of everything finance I could over the probably since the start of the pandemic, maybe a couple months before. I was trying to make a career change and figured what better way to document it and teach other people while I'm learning as well, and some good humor along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so for me, like I said, it's the same thing. We just wanted to be entertaining, kind of learn something for ourselves, learn and teach something to everyone else. We've been trying to absorb as much information as we possibly can in like the past year. Obviously, things are very different since a year and a half ago, since the start of the pandemic. So with that being said, you got to adapt, and that's what I feel like we kind of did. And we found that we really loved talking stocks and kind of crypto and the whole situation. I think we really fell in love with it. And then we decided, you know what? We're goofy enough people. Why don't we give it a shot? And we'll make a podcast.
I don't have a theme song. I don't do any of that. But I got to say, I love it. That was his idea. Song. Yeah, it's comical.
I figured we needed something to just like stick out. Like we wanted to make it approachable. Like we're two regular guys. Like nobody knows anything. We don't either, and we'll be 100% honest with you. Like we're just trying to learn and have some people enjoy it and educate themselves along the way.
And the thing I like about you guys is you're not pounding the table about a specific stock or a specific crypto.
And
saying, pumpers. Hey guys, you're not pumpers. And I mean, not to get into me, but I started my account roughly a year ago or so with $1,000, and I've run it up a good amount. I'm over pattern day trading now. I'll leave it at that. But I've had some success, and I followed some of these guys on Twitter, and I call it Vegas. I'm sure you guys have heard my story before. Twitter is like Vegas. You can be anybody you want to be. It doesn't matter what you are in real life. On Twitter, you're anybody you want to be. And I followed some of those guys. And it hurt me along the way. Then it sucks. And then you realize, hey guys, you got to follow what you use. You know, for argument's sake, I fly JetBlue. I shop at Target. I drink Sam Adams beer. You know, those are things I want to be invested in. I go to Disney. Those are things I want to be invested in. I'm not buying A, B, and C OTC or A, B, and C NASDAQ or any other stock just based on an alert anymore. I'm not doing that. And you guys don't do that. That's my point. My point is you guys aren't pounding the table saying, hey, guys, we got to buy this. We got to load up. Let's front load all this and you know, screw everybody else behind us. Who cares? You guys don't do that. And I like it. I like the education that you guys got behind yourselves. And you guys, you're good. You're good in my book.
What I see it too, though, is like, and in a sense, you need that. Like, people learn from that. At first, it's like, oh, like, you get a little excited. Maybe it's something. And you kind of learn the way the social media community works around certain things. Like, there's people that are providing great education. There's some people that are in it just for shits and gigs. Like, it's entertaining regardless.
Yeah, I mean, I say the same thing. I think what you have is a lot of the time, some people are just in it for, you know, specifically their own needs. You know what I mean? They're like, all right, I'm going to run this. I'm going to pump this. There's people I could mention, but I'm not going to right now. But I'm sure.
Listen, hey, if you want to sync them on the show, you can sync them, because you know what? We're going to get into this later. I'm at a point with certain people where the syncing on my end is about to happen. So if you want, go ahead. If you don't want to, that's fine. We can just say person A and person B. Yeah, I'm good. I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. Finish your point.
Person A, person S. I'll start with that. I'll leave it at that. No, but there's definitely people that are, you know, are pumpers, and that's what they do. And, you know, that's not what we're about. We never wanted to be like, all right, so we're solely this stock, solely this crypto. Yep. Obviously, there's ones that we dabble in. Yep. But, you know, like when we had our interview with like Ryan Shadell for LTNC, like
that guy.
I wasn't even holding any shares at the time. So like that's just one of the things. It's not like a personal thing. We're not doing it for any reason other than we just wanted to do it. I don't know. You know, that's the only reason you really should want to do anything, right?
Yeah. Like I had on, I had on Ryan, and you guys reached out right after I did, because you guys had him planned as well, that's how we started talking and had the going back and forth about everything. But that was great on your end. No, not stepping on toes and anything else that you guys put in the message, which was great. And that opened the doorway for us to do this. And
I would never want to step on toes. I would never bash anybody. And like I said, like I have no problem with pushing whatever stock. Like everybody gets hyped up about a stock. Everybody does their own.
I mean, he has a problem with anyone with no beard. If you shave,
I shaved yesterday.
Now he has a problem with you. He has a problem with you specifically. If you do shave, if you have anything like right now, I have scruff. I'm in his good graces today.
Yeah, I got ever so slight scruff right now.
He's an avid. That is his thing. He's a pro pumper shaver. Hates Gillette. We'll bet against it. That's his only thing right there.
But yeah, no, I love the going back and forth, and I love that you guys are active on Twitter. I love everything. And again, I have people on my show, and I had Christy Hunt on the show from GSPI. Yep. Whether you liked her, hated her, don't know anything about her, the point is bringing her on. I'm not front loading her stock. You guys, I'm assuming, are front loading any stocks for your guests, and that's how we're real, and that's the point I'm driving home here. When we're not having somebody on and front loading their company and hoping that from either podcast, oh boom, 5x, 10x, whatever it's going to be, and then we're gonna get out of it. We're not those guys, and I like that.
If only it was that simple too. You know?
If it was only that simple.
We don't have that. Yeah, we don't. That's not what we're about. We won't. You know. And, and even if we build up that following, which we hope to do, we certainly would never do that. That's not what we're about, right, Beardo?
Never. I'm trying to reach out to as many people that I can to just try to get like their investing knowledge. Like I don't care whether you're a brand new trader and you have questions that you're trying to learn. Like I would love to have that conversation. And I've reached out to a couple people on Twitter and had a few. Whether you're an experienced investor, new trader, you run a business, we're just trying to get some perspective. And
Yeah.
And hey, not for nothing from Twitter, I'm sure you guys learn a few things here and there because I get a few messages here and there that I learn a few things. I mean, it has its good points. Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of negativity on it as well, which just drives me nuts.
Oh, so
you're gonna
so
get the
much.
good with the bad, no matter what.
Yeah, true. All right, so I love the Boston, New York thing. The minute I found that you guys are from Boston, I was like, oh, this is going to be great. I mean, I'm a Red Sox fan. Russ is a big Met fan. You guys, you have to both live Red Sox, right? Or is there a different team in the mix? He doesn't.
He doesn't.
Born and raised in Boston, in Everett, just outside of Boston, and I'm a diehard Derek Jeter fan.
Wow.
I know, went the other way on that one.
Wow.
It's tough being a Yankees fan in Boston. I got to throw that out there. People aren't as friendly with the Yankees.
So the Yankees are winning all their championships in the day, and I'm sure you're in heaven. And then the Red Sox, flipped the script on that whole rivalry for a while.
Very unexpected. Very unexpected too. That comeback was absolutely unreal.
So my brother-in-law's a big Yankee fan, and I break his shoes as much as possible about that Mariano blowing that 3-0 lead, the 3-0 lead, and that's what started everything with that. I break his shoes about it all the time whenever I get a chance to.
I still have the utmost respect for the Sox, though. Like,
you have to. I mean, as much as I hate the Yankees, you have to.
Don Zimmer was the only thing I wasn't a fan of over the years.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I'm a Red Sox guy. I mean, I just feel like it's very classic to go to like a Sox game, get some peanuts. I mainly just focus on the food half the time, though, when it comes to the game. But that's just
I love Fenway. I don't think they'll ever replace it. It's just as small as it is. I guess that's what works against them, and that's why the prices get so high is because the capacity is so low, even with COVID now and everything else. But in general, when things are normal, I mean, how many more seats can they really add to it without building a new thing or new structure or something? And I don't even think they can. I think they can't.
You can't.
Yeah,
you can't. I mean, that's the whole thing about Boston in general is like the streets make no sense because they were like built for like horses and whereas like New York is like a grid, Boston's just like this zigzag, kind of like maze, and you got to kind of like figure it out, especially in like the North End and Boston and stuff. So if you don't know where you're going, I mean, MapQuest is just going to be like all over the
place. I don't drive when I'm in Boston. I take the T. That's my way around. Uber is the way to go as well. But so right now you got the Celtics and the Bruins in the playoffs, which you guys, I mean, really, you guys are in the playoffs every damn sport every year. I mean, it's like it's a never-ending playoff run for you guys. Do you see either of them going far? I mean, I just watched the Celtics last night blew the doors off the other guys. What is it? Jason Tatum put up 50 points.
Tatum is, he's awesome and stuff. And like I said, I know Jason Tatum. I know Marcus Smart. He comes into my restaurant all the time. And honestly, like they're really doing awesome. I think that I definitely think that they deserve to take it. We'll see what happens. I think a couple of years recently they got gypped a little bit, but that's what happens when you're going against like LeBron James and stuff like that. And when he's just a one-man army.
Oh, and then he puts his two other sidekicks with him wherever he goes and creates a threesome, and then it's good to go. He's good for a finals run for 5, 10, whatever years it is.
That's it. And I was in Space Jam. He had to get in Space Jam. All right. I have mixed feelings about a second Space Jam, I gotta say.
So I will argue to the death with anybody, anytime, that Michael Jordan is the best player I've ever seen. And I know LeBron's LeBron and he's a bigger guy and he's built differently and everything else. But if Jordan didn't take off the 3 years for baseball, I mean, the 6 easily could have been 9.
Oh, absolutely.
Honestly.
Absolutely. I think when it comes to a single player by himself, LeBron is if not the best, just by himself. He's a one-man army, whereas Michael Jordan and Larry Bird were a little more fundamental, a little more team play. I think that you play the game differently. Obviously in the 80s and the 90s, very, very different game. And versus now, like I see the way LeBron does it. He just like, he kind of like checks you and then you move your feet and then boom, it's a foul. Even though it's like, hey, this 7-foot giant just bashed me. He's one of the biggest people on the court. Like, foul.
I Jordan's the best I've ever seen. I'll put LeBron up there with him, but I think Jordan is just on a different level.
Absolutely.
He's on a different level. I mean, they're both up there, but I think Jordan is just a little bit better in my book for.
And like I said, team. Reasons. Like I said, like Michael Jordan's going to play on a team. LeBron's going to play himself, and not that the other players aren't good, but when you put those two teams against each other, I think definitely Michael Jordan wins.
I'm taking Kobe. I'm sorry.
What did you say? Taking Kobe.
Taking Kobe.
Taking Kobe.
All right, Kobe's good too.
Rest in peace.
Yep, absolutely.
That's all I can
Kobe
say.
was good too.
Kobe was awesome.
Good. So the Patriots. What did you guys think of their draft, and how did it feel with Tom Brady leaving and winning a Super Bowl in Tampa?
I got to start with Brady leaving. Not only
start with that.
do you finally leave the team that built you to who you are in the middle of a pandemic on St. Patrick's Day, our biggest holiday, where nobody can go out to it. Like, bars would have been packed that day.
Oh my God, the tears would have been flowing.
Oh yeah,
the fact that you were stuck home through it too. My heart's never been so broken.
I feel like I just got kicked repeatedly in a certain part of my body over and over again. I know. I don't know if there's children listening, but yeah, no,
probably not.
Probably not. I don't think. But no, definitely. I mean, that was heartbreaking. I think, but you know what? Honestly, as Patriots fans, I think more of us were mad when Gronkowski retired and then came out of retirement. And I had just saw him. I literally bowled next to him in a King's Bowling in Seaport in Boston, and he seemed pretty agile still. He can bowl pretty well. Yeah. But but he's retired, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm not retired. I just want to play with Tom down in Tampa Bay, and
he retired though because they wanted to trade him to the Lions. So he's like, you can't trade me. I'm retired, and then just so happens to come back to the Bucs. I don't know.
So the rumor is that Edelman might be doing the same type of thing.
I would not.
You guys agree with that?
I'm suspect to that.
I think it will happen. So now you're looking at the Tampa Bay Patriots. I think I'd say, but you know what? I don't know about Beardo. I can't speak for him, but I am a Tom Brady fan more than I'm a Patriots fan. So I was still pretty happy this year.
I am. Don't get me wrong, I'm a diehard Brady fan, but I firmly believe in everything Bill Belichick does. It might not make sense at the time, but he always has something up his sleeves. Brady couldn't do it alone. And
Brady went to Tampa and did it without Bill.
That's true. He had good people.
It's hard not to.
He had good players though. He had Gronk, he had Antonio Brown. He brought him back.
They had a nucleus in Tampa, and then the few pieces that came in were good.
You can't beat Brady's just dagger precision and stuff like that. that's part of the reason why he beat Mahomes. Mahomes is amazing, but you're dealing with somebody who's been in the league for. Mahomes was what was he 5 years old when Brady won his first one?
Basically.
So you experience wins. That's all it is.
Back when I watch football regularly, I being from New York, the Jets and Giants are both New Jersey to me. But I'll watch both of them. I've gone to games. I've gone on road trips. The fact that, as being a New York guy, that Eli Manning beat Brady twice was one of the best things ever for a New York guy. And I know you don't want to bring that up. I know we're not friends, and you don't want to bring it up. I had to just give it in once.
Hey, I
my
guess
first
lightning
heartbreak
can't strike twice. Apparently, I thought it couldn't, but it can.
So prior to Brady leaving on St. Patrick's Day, the first heartbreak was that fucking, pardon my French, the helmet cap.
Excuse me, children.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It just doesn't
hang
make
on
sense
one
how
second
he
here.
catches that on his helmet.
Hang on one second here. Russ is actually trying to come on the stream here. Hang on.
I thought he was busy.
I thought you were interviewing. What's going on?
Here he is.
Nah, my interview's over.
It's over?
Yeah, they said I was too fat. I wouldn't fit behind the bench. I just got home. I figured I'd stop on for a couple of minutes and wing it.
We're rooting for you.
Yeah, we're rooting for you.
Yeah. No, I would listen to you guys for a minute talking about the Tom and the Pats. So just join in.
We couldn't resist.
We just broke into sports. We were talking about crypto and stuff in the beginning. And,
you already went through crypto?
Oh no, just touched on it. Why they started their podcast and everything.
Yeah, all right. Because I announced my deal with Dave Portnoy that I've joined the Safe Moon crowd. So.
Oh,
welcome to the team.
I finally figured out how to do it to 8 different exchanges, and let's just say I'm not a proud owner of 52 million shares. So if this thing goes to a down, it's going to be quite the party. And
I increased my position today because there's the crash that happened. I was like, you know what, I'll go for it.
The crash actually worked out kind of well because I ended up selling my Doge at 39, and I rebought it 33. So I added like 1,000 shares there, and then I said, "Oh, screw it, let me add a Litecoin because that went all the way down to 199." I threw in some Shiba and some Safe Moon and even some Cardano. I was like, "Oh, let me sprinkle it around," and I didn't go crazy, but
sounds like you did.
I'm not putting Safe Moon yet. You know, if it goes
them all.
I'll be happy.
I didn't want to tell you like the Dogecoin. I mean, I have really thick skin to deal with it because I'm sitting on. So I bought in its Dogecoin when it was at like 0.0038. So I got like 100,000 shares of Dogecoin. So I mean, like this morning I'm down $25,000. I'm just like, damn it.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Yeah, that's a hit. But I think I guess this will be good moving forward. What? Oh, I already sprayed. I'm not even home for 5 minutes. My wife's bugging me already.
Sprayed.
But no, I think this is a good thing in general. As far as it weeded out a lot of the paper hands. Yeah, and I think everybody moving forward is pretty much, you know, if they would have sold, they would have sold already.
Yep.
So going forward, I think everything's going to go back up. If I'm understanding this correctly with the China ban, China mines like 70% of cryptocurrency in the world. So they're going to find a way to make profit. That's probably what all this is. They're going to do it so that they can make profit off of it. But if they mine that much, they're not going to let this crumble.
No. I mean, if I want to talk, I mean, we can talk about it in a second. I'll get into a little bit now for Doge. I mean, Beardo's not super big on Dogecoin. I've been an avid Dogecoin supporter since the beginning. I was one of the only people that like kind of stuck around when the first push happened in last July. And I mean, honestly, it's grown way faster than I ever thought it was going to in short term. And that's when people see it fall from like, you know, where it is now, it's at like 36, 37, 40, whatever it is. I wasn't looking because I couldn't today. It was too painful. It was difficult to keep an eye on my phone. No, but I see, you know, more and more places starting to pick it up as payment. I think they said Petco, like Home Depot or something, like or Lowe's or a couple of like retail places, and you know, it's going to go on Coinbase next month. Elon Musk is like, oh, should I accept Dogecoin and drop Bitcoin? And I just feel like it's definitely not seen its best days yet. But you know, this is what happens. Like you said, you're going to have some drop. You're going to weed out the paper hand people, and then everyone else is going to buy up. And I think you're seeing a couple bucks in not so distant future. I really do.
Yeah, I agree. So like I said, you know, in the end, I think there is probably going to be a big crash. But for now, listen, the companies are jumping on it, and everybody's realizing there's the fear of missing out. And you know, obviously, especially with Bitcoin, I think that's past because it's now so expensive. Where if you didn't get into
so
it
much
a while ago, you know, you're not putting $1,000 in now, and it's not going anywhere. You know, whereas you put $1,000. You know, even into a Litecoin, which is 200, all right, you may make a couple, but you're seeing people buy these smaller joke coins just because, hey, screw it. You know, I buy a couple of them for a couple hundred each, and all you need is one to go crazy.
That's a safe
one. But
that's safe.
I don't want to break up Jerry's schedule too much. But you guys might go back into sports. I got a few minutes. I can always.
Right, let's continue sports.
Did you do baseball
yet? Continue sports. No, we didn't. I didn't do any of that stuff yet. We were just talking about how the Boston sports scene has stepped into the golden horseshoe basically, and every year it's a damn parade going through Boston.
Oh, well, wait a minute. Did you tell them about the Boston experience, the cheers?
I did not get into our trips yet. No, that's coming up. But go ahead. I told him how we got sick. So we got sick next to some carousel or something in a park in downtown Boston.
We went to, I don't know if you guys know the band OAR.
What's the name?
So we went to OAR in Norfolk, Connecticut, and ended up driving to Boston after the show and stayed in Boston for the night. So the next night we go out, and, you know, not my first time in Boston, but my first time as an adult that can drink. So we end up going out. Of course, I have to go to fucking Cheers. You gotta. I got a picture with Norm. We did the whole Sam Adams Brewery thing.
I've never seen the show. I'm not gonna be honest. I've never even watched. I've never even watched Cheers.
No, it's a great show. And a
Wow.
funny
That's
thing
what
came
everyone
out,
says. I feel like
a
everyone
funny
that
thing
likes
came
Cheers
out
is
the other
not
day.
Boston.
Yeah, funny thing came out the other day of them taking pictures of the curly-haired bartender. I forgot her name. Doing all her pours, and they were all half head. And they were like, they had the worst pours ever. But we go out, and I remember not being like, I used to be a big Scotch guy, Johnny Black, and I still am, but I wasn't in the mood for it that night. And I think I had like a vodka Sprite or something. It wasn't hitting, and I was like, fuck it. Johnny Black and Coke, whatever. And it just went down. And before I know it, I'm giving 20s to the fucking guy in the corner playing acoustic guitar, play, any Billy Joel, this, that. And, the guy's like, all right, give me like $40. Like, it's cool. I'll play whatever you want. You're not going to keep giving me money. And before I know it, I think they closed at 12, but I was hammed. And the bartender's like, all right, it's last call. This drink's on me. And I remember my wife saying, he's good. He had enough. And I was thoroughly fucked up. And the bartender's like, listen, he drank pretty much this whole bottle. It's on me. Now, my wife knows me, but this guy doesn't. So he basically pours not the pint glass, but the tall glasses full of Johnny Walker with a splash of Coke. And
splash being the key word.
I took this thing with a straw and just went gone in about like 3 seconds. And the bartender goes, "Holy shit, I didn't know he was going to do that."
You said it was last call. You said it was. I don't want to keep you.
Yep.
Yeah. So he told us, though, we asked for after hour. He told us some place, and it ended up being not underground, but I guess where you guys have like the it's below ground level where you walk down the stairs and have. So
you're walking on the sidewalk and it's down the steps from the sidewalk. So it's kind of like a basement of wherever you are.
Yeah, he tells us go there and tell him his name. And all I remember is ordering 4 drinks, and I tell him so and so sent us some cheers. And the guy's like, your money's no good here. So I was pretty well for the other bartender. But I love the glass and this place, and the glass ended up coming home with me. And somehow he ended up in a park after. I remember porta potties and some sort of carousel, and it didn't end well for the toilet. And then
sounds like a good night to me.
Yes, and then my wife waking me up at probably 5, 6 in the morning, where I fell asleep taking a shit on the toilet. And the next day, we went to some famous breakfast spot. Maybe Jerry knows or remembers. And I remember sitting there, and Jerry's wife too. She was in bad shape.
We were banged up.
I mean, I love food, and we couldn't eat. We were in trouble. And I think I want to say it took us 4 or 5 hours to get home with traffic and pouring rain, and it was definitely one of the worst hangover drives home from Boston, but it was a good time.
But every trip is a walking bar crawl with us there. It really is.
That's the thing with there's endless places to just sit and get shit-faced around Boston.
Right now, it's 90-minute limits on everything, though, because I run a restaurant and stuff, and everything's 90 minutes, you're out.
Yeah, we got that too. We got about 2 hours where we are. 2 hours, you got to get up and go.
But I don't know. I think May 29th is supposed to lift everything, or something. I don't know.
Well, they lifted stuff today here in New York, so
hopefully,
it was pretty relaxed. I did have a mask incident in Chipotle, but
of all places, you're gonna use your get out of jail free card at Chipotle.
Yeah. Yes. But
everybody gets one.
Here, we'll see what happens. But all right, sorry to take up the time. We'll go back to sports. I'll wing it.
All right. So let's go to sports real quick, and then I'll go back to us talking about Brady and Boston and everything else. But all right, so Russ, last episode we did the over under on no hitters this year.
Oh,
and what'd you know? But
that's why I asked about baseball.
Spencer Turnbull, never heard of this guy before, pitched the 5th no hitter in baseball this year for the Tigers last night against Seattle, not including the Bumgarner 7-inning guy.
Yeah, he's Spencer Turnbull. He, you have the A-list porn actors. He's like the B-list porn actor.
I don't pay attention to the guys, but yeah.
So that is pretty crazy. We got 5 already in the first 2 months of the season. So
yeah,
I'll be honest with you. I only remember a handful of no-hitters. So I looked up no-hitters yesterday, this morning, and dude, every year's had 2 or 3, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
However,
I mean, 5.
In 2015, there were 7 no-hitters, including Max Scherzer and some other asshole threw 2. Scherzer threw 2, and then somebody else threw 2. And I was like, holy shit. 2 people threw 2 no-hitters in the same season in 2015, but there were 7 total. And I was like, I don't remember this. And I pay attention to everything.
Wow. So last week, Matt Harvey, the Dark Knight, came back to Citi Field. He got a nice ovation. That was nice. I saw that. You know, it didn't end well for him here, but he's trying to reinvent himself in Baltimore. And Albert Pujols, designated for assignment from the Angels. And what does he do? He goes across town, signs with the Dodgers, and the first game, that's cleanup for these guys. And Trout gets hurt. I mean, how's that for karma?
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. The Ryan that was on the show a couple episodes ago, he's a diehard Cardinals fan. Even he says, how do you not sign him just out of, how do you let him sign with the Dodgers?
Yeah, I don't get it.
You know, that's like, one of their arch rivals, and just, it is, see a legend like that wearing Dodger blue after wearing Cardinal red for all those years. It's quite interesting.
All right.
We know the feeling with Brady. We know the feeling. 20-something years as a Pat. Now he's in the Bucks, but whatever.
And he's gonna win. He's probably gonna win another 1 or 2 while he's down there.
Win it, yeah. Before he's retired. I think he's gonna go till he's 50. He's gonna go till he's 50.
Listen, as long as he keeps playing the way he's playing, and listen, players keep following him because he keeps winning. So, it is weird seeing him as a Buck. And I gotta be honest with you, I'm a Colts fan. I fucking hated Tom, and
hey,
I gotta tell you, I rooted for him in the Super Bowl. I can't help it. Part of me now likes him.
Yeah,
because he's in the NFC.
Yeah, you don't care now.
It's just something about the uniform. It's kind of like growing up and hating Mario Lemieux and Yager because I was a Ranger fan. And I got to tell you, in the end, I think Yager is probably one of my favorite players of all time, even Sands playing with the Rangers. But now I understand their greatness. They kind of see him in a different light.
You appreciate them more.
Definitely. Oh, yeah.
He goes to a different team. He does it again. I mean, just can't be stopped. There's no denying. I mean, even if there was some speculation on like some, like whatever, he cheated, this, that, and the other thing. I mean, people say that all the time. I mean, you don't win that many times if you're just not awesome. I mean, no matter how you look at it, you know what I mean? That's just too many rings. What is it, like 7 rings or something now?
He's at 7, and J-Lo's at what, 5?
Yeah. J-Lo's at 5.
We're keeping track of this every episode. If J-Lo gets a new one now that she's been seen with Ben Affleck lately.
But I did say that if she gets a new one from Ben, she already had one from Ben, so this one will count, but there should be an asterisk with it.
Second one from
Throw
Ben.
it up like the Barry Bonds home runs.
Yes, exactly.
It counts. It counts. He won the same one twice. Yeah.
All right, real quick, Russ, I want to get into the NBA. Last night, the East started their play-in round. The Celtics beat the Wizards. Celtics are now the 7th seed. Pacers defeated the Hornets. The Hornets are done. They're now in the lottery. The Wizards are going to play the Pacers for the 8th seed, and the loser of that game will be in the lottery as well. Out west tonight, you have the Lakers and Golden State, which is the big matchup, 7 versus 8. The winner moves on to be the 7th seed in the playoffs. The loser will play the winner of the Memphis Grizzlies, San Antonio Spurs 9 versus 10 game. The loser of that Grizzlies Spurs matchup will be done in the lottery as well. Guys, do you think that it's not going to be Golden State and the Lakers back in the main playoffs at 7 and 8 after their matchup tonight? Do you see San Antonio or Memphis or anybody getting in besides them?
Beardo?
I don't know.
Short and sweet. No, for me, I mean, Golden State's just awesome. I can't deny that. I think you'll see a little more of the same until a couple of the other, other teams like really build up. But yeah, I mean, obviously, Golden State has great fundamentals and they're just killing it, man. Like
Steph Curry takes over a game.
Doesn't hurt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they're unstoppable. I mean, I don't, like when they're just too damn good. I don't even know what to say. They shut down LeBron like the other year and 2, so it's just I don't even know.
All right, I want to get into Russ, the playoff NHL playoffs real quick. Out west, I got Colorado over St. Louis. I got Vegas over Minnesota. In the north, I got Toronto over Montreal. I know we differ on that one. You want to see chaos in Canada.
Yeah, I don't actually think Montreal's going to beat Toronto. But
you never know.
Just to see absolute fucking chaos and them riot in Toronto would be that'd be awesome. I don't know if you saw Carey Price though. Carey Price flipped out today in practice.
Shea Weber was back taking shots in practice today too, so he might be back. He might be back tonight also. I'm not sure.
Price is in a bad mindset. He didn't fare too well with the Laval Rockets in the AHL for their last game, and then today in practice. Goal was scored on him, and he just turned around and smashed his stick against the post and broke it in half. And he's not in a good mindset. They're not going to beat Toronto, but like I said, I'd love to see absolute chaos and Toronto fold again. And fuck Tavares.
I got Edmonton over Winnipeg. I got Carolina over Nashville. Tampa over Florida. Which that series I hope goes 7, and I hope they kill each other because the first game was fights, and there wasn't a dull moment in that game with those two teams. I love the Florida Tampa Bay rivalry. It's great for hockey. I have Pittsburgh over the Islanders. I will not pick the Islanders ever. You guys know that. I hate them. And I got Boston over Washington, guys. So my Boston friends, I'm rooting for you guys.
All right.
Yeah, I got Obi got his cup, and that was awesome. He was fucking great, hammered up at the podium. But I really can't root for the Caps. I'll take the Bees any day. It's
I got Boston over Tampa. I'm sorry, I got Boston and Tampa in the semis, and Colorado and Edmonton in the other round. I got Tampa beating Colorado in the finals. When you get two superstars back like they did with Kucherov and Stamkos to the playoff run, and they circumvented the cap, by the I can't see how
cap gymnastics
as
cap gymnastics as Biz says. there's a rumor floating around that they persuaded Kucherov to sit out the rest of the season and come in for the playoffs just to do that. Yeah, now, obviously that's against NHL rules, but there's no way to truly prove it unless Kucherov or anybody in the office admits to it.
I'm sure it's a rumor on Twitter, and Twitter, anything happens there.
anything. Elon Musk, he says one word, boom, the whole crypto market just bam. That's it. Everything moved.
And so, Russ, just give us some insight on the Ranger interview. David Quinn got fired. The rest of his staff got the boot, except for Benoit Allaire, who's the goalie guru. If you follow the Rangers, he does amazing things with the goalies. But Russ, you interviewed. Gerard Gallant interviewed. Rick Tocchet is apparently next. And I read a report today that Patrick Waugh is also going to get an interview as well. Just give us some insight on David Quinn getting fired.
Well, the Quinn getting fired, if anything, the performance thing, Quinn probably should have been fired before JD and Gorton, but it was a formality. I think when we talked about it, I guess, originally I was against, Kim. I didn't think he was the right guy for this team. And then I kind of at the end there kind of came along seeing how our players developed. I really like Gallant. I know that they said that I was the best looking candidate, but unfortunately my lack of experience and the fact that I could barely fit behind the players on the bench there was a little disheartening, but it is what it is. I don't mind Tocchet. He might bring toughness, but Gallant, every interview I've ever heard about him is players love playing for him. He's a player's coach, and maybe that's what this team needs, just a little different change, from a hard-nosed coach like Quinn. I think Quinn just made some rookie mistakes, but I just think it's weird that Gallant's been out this long and nobody's picked him up. But
so I think that part of the reasoning with that is that when you get fired as a coach in sports now, the team that you have a contract with still pays you over the course of the contract. So JD and Jeff Gorton are going to get paid unless they get a new job somewhere. Gerard Gallant is still getting paid by Vegas, even though he doesn't have a job anywhere. So to stay home and make X or come back and make a little bit less, if that's what the current offers are out there, what would you rather do as a coach or an executive of a team? I guess that goes into part of the thinking as well. Why would you make $5 million sitting home versus $3 million to come in and work?
True. And, you can sit there and wait for the right opportunity.
That too.
And maybe that's what he was doing, I know that there are guys too, regardless of the money, they can't sit home and do nothing. They want to get back out there. Well,
it's going to be interesting to see where these guys go because Seattle doesn't have a coach yet. The Rangers don't have a coach. Brindamore might be leaving Carolina.
I'm hoping it's not Patrick Waugh, though. I love Patty Waugh as a goalie, but bottom line, if you see the way he acted in Colorado, and especially in the AHL, coaching his son, forcing his son, a goalie, to fight, he seems like he's just an asshole. And
well, he's got a reputation with him, and maybe that's why he's been out of the league after he did the Colorado stint for 3 years, and now he won't get a job or hasn't gotten a job because of what's gone on in the past and the words that are being said around the league. League executives is a close community. These guys all speak, I'm sure, off the record or whatever to each other while they're getting a drink or whatever it is. And they're going to go, hey, this guy was a jerk off and I don't think he's a good fit in the league anymore. And when someone says that, it's going to get around. And maybe that's why he's like blackballed and blacklisted.
Yeah, it's possible.
I'm not saying that's the case, but it very well could be. I don't know. All right, Russ, we're going to go back to stocks and crypto and stuff if you want to stay on, or are you going to swing out of here?
I'm trying to adjust my phone. I'm using a fucking Cheerio to try to prop it up.
Hey, that's one way to do a pop socket.
All right, there you go.
I'm more of a Lucky Charms guy, but
my son left the Cheerio here, and it's actually working. So
it's just propping it up with a Cheerio.
I like the hat, by the way. All we need is a little bit of water behind it. I feel like we're in Cuba.
Oh, he was. I
got it in New Orleans.
Tell the story. Yep.
Say I got it in New Orleans. Were you gonna say you got it in Cuba?
Yeah.
What happened in Cuba?
No, I just feel like the hat's got a Cuban feel to it. You put a little water behind you. It'll look nice.
He's always very.
Thank you. No, I got it in New Orleans. I was down in New Orleans with a few buddies, and I was just and everyone was like, "Oh, we're getting hats." I'm like, "Okay." So I let a buddy of mine pick this hat out for me. I like it. I don't know.
Yeah, it works.
I mean, it's works. I mean, he's got this glorious beard, and I just feel like I need some little add-on. The hat will change up. I'll have different hats.
So when you guys do your show though, you just record it and then upload it, right? You guys aren't doing the live stream like us, so you got to tell all of us listeners what kind of hat you're going with, and maybe post it on the blog or Twitter or something, so we can see what's going on every week.
I got an idea. I got an idea. Be back in a minute. Keep talking.
He gets a hat. He has a hat. No,
he's got a hat.
We went with audio because I don't know. I don't think anyone wants to look at me. I mean, maybe his beard, but.
And the goal for us too, like once we get further down the road, I've been recording every interview that we have. When we have a compilation of interviews that we can put up, we want to try to create a vlog out of it to try to just kind of ramble.
Oh, it's like a polka.
It's a
it's the Oktoberfest hat.
Yeah, from Sam Adams.
Oh, that's a polka hat. Dinga dinga dorgan. Yes, miss. Hello.
Does it make you want to drink when you put it on?
Yes, it does.
But when he takes it off, he still wants to drink, so it doesn't really matter.
That's also correct.
That doesn't really matter, and the hat is unaffected. But at least now when he wears the hat, people are like, "Oh, I get it."
So we decided, when I decided to do this, and then Russ came on after episode 1, I wanted to do visual, and I think that a chat involved and doing this basically like a Zoom call type thing was the way to go. So we decided to go to Twitch. Then I realized Twitch, after 2 weeks, deletes your video. So I was like, oh, I'm in a little bit of a pickle there. So that's where the YouTube came in. And then once the YouTube came in, I was like, all right, well, how can I listen to this in the car without playing YouTube in the car? And that's how Spotify came through. So yeah, that's our line of thinking. Are you guys ever going to go visual, or maybe you're just going to do the video blog like you discussed of all your interviews? What do you have?
What'd you say?
What's your thoughts down the line of maybe going visual like this?
So in time, I do want to get there. My biggest thing, and I've been bitching at him over the past couple of weeks, like we need to create more content on a timely basis. So we've been trying to get all our ducks in a line before we really start doing more and really executing certain things. So in time, yes, we will get there, but we're not there yet.
Yeah. Plus I need some plastic surgery before we do before all video. I'm gonna need plastic surgery before we do all video. I'll just wear a mask. I'll put on like those Bill Clinton masks. You get it like Spirit Halloween. I'll just play that the whole time.
Oh,
Bill Clinton's on the podcast.
Yes, Jerry, I got my
That's
Chewbacca
right.
mask. I can send that to you.
Yeah, Russ has a Chewie mask.
I think that.
The
It's not-
dance might match
I
up
mean, I
for
don't know. Do you think that would work? Do you think that someone wants to listen to some guy in a Chewbacca mask talk about stocks? I think we can have
Listen, I
something
would
there.
fucking listen to it.
Yeah, it might work.
I think
You
Did he
you
go
never
get his
know.
mask?
Yes, he did. Absolutely. Here you go.
That's movie quality.
Right? It's really good.
It's good. That's good.
Yeah, listen. If some guy sat there talking about anything in a Chewbacca mask, I'd
You'd watch.
tune in and give a listen for a few minutes.
Or at least
That's the type of
ponder.
stuff that goes viral.
Ask him the question like, "Where did you get it?" You know what I mean? Did you get it? And can I get an Ewok mask? I don't know.
Absolutely. Why not?
I mean, I think Ewoks are in right now. I don't know.
Well, it's more like Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda's in right now.
You use the Chewbacca defense. You want your South Park fans? I'm a big South Park guy.
Speaking of Baby
No.
Yoda, my son just
No?
entered the room.
I don't want. I haven't watched South Park. It's just never.
You never
clicked.
clicked? Dude.
No.
I don't know about Beardo, but I'm a huge South Park guy. I've seen like every episode. I love South Park. It's my thing.
I haven't watched it in a long time.
I might have seen one or two, but
Well, to be honest, the old stuff's better than new stuff. So
Try it.
is that Baby Yoda?
Baby Yoda's putting on the Chewie mask.
You want to make an appearance? Say hello. Say hi.
How you doing?
Hi.
Say I just took a big dump.
That's a very Baby Yoda thing to say, actually. Yes.
Yeah, my wife looks at me and goes, "Really?"
Like, yes, we need good content.
No, you got to keep it entertaining. You got to keep people laughing. I think that's for me and Jerry. I come in as the comedic relief, and you got to keep at least interesting. But to go on Jerry's point, as far as the video to listening, if I'm in a car or something, obviously I want to listen. So,
Yep.
you're not going to watch a video, but for the most part, if I'm going to watch the podcast, seeing people's facial expressions and everything, I think adds to a lot of it and adds a lot to it.
It does.
I think my screen's frozen.
No, it's not.
Well, mine's not this week because I'm using my phone and not my computer.
That's a good thing.
But maybe if Safe Moon goes up, I can buy a new computer.
That's true. I think it's gonna take some time on Safe Moon. I think that's an investment, not a day trade.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say
figured,
that's
listen,
a skill, if anything.
That's an investment for a degenerate gambler like me. But that's
Speaking of degenerate gambling, last week's picks went 2 wins, 3 losses, and 3 pushes. I was like, motherfucker.
And the 2 losses were those 2 games. 2 of the 3 losses were 2
3
games you
of
said
the
were going to be
losses
blowouts, right?
3 of the losses were the games that were supposed to go over that have been going. They've scored fucking like 8 games in a row overs.
Well, we talk about gambling. I mean, you guys are big poker guys, right? Yeah.
I'm a big poker guy. Russ is the big gambling guy.
He
Russ
is.
will bet anything.
The only poker I play is poke my wife.
Hey, now is that a gamble? Do you get? Is it sometimes you win, sometimes you don't win?
It depends on her mood.
Wow, we're going there. Here we go.
Something tells me since COVID, he probably loses more than he wins. What's the over under on that? And can I take it?
Actually, since COVID, I'm probably better because we've been together more, and she's usually, gives me a quickie here and there just to
get you a high five. You did a good job.
Let's get back to crypto for a second.
Yes, let's get back on subject.
So, guys, I'm not a crypto guy. I've said this for eight episodes now that I want money that I can hold in my hand. I'm not crazy about a digital wallet, digital currency.
Yep.
I'm not. But you have Elon and Bitcoin, Elon and Doge. The Tesla stock is tied into it. You have Mark Cuban and Doge with the Mavericks. Yep. You got Portnoy now, who I guess missed the boat on Bitcoin. So he's got more money than he knows what to do with. I don't know why he just doesn't buy Bitcoin and call it a day. But now he's in the Safe Moon thing.
Yep.
I want to break this down into 2 parts. Do you like that these celebrity guys are pushing these coins, or do you feel like people are going to get stuck holding a bag, so to speak, with the way they do things and the way it fluctuates? Now, you guys being the crypto guys, I mean, this is right up your alley and not up mine. So tell me what's going on here.
Beardo, you start us off.
I got to agree. I think it's a little bit of both. Like, as much as of an influence the bigger people like Portnoy, Cuban, Elon getting in, you see how bad the ripple effect is when it's negative, and you saw exactly that with Elon. Not for nothing, Portnoy getting in, yay, maybe Barstool will accept their currency for Barstool merch, but
if a safe
then
move.
you see all the drama that came with it. He starts attacking, I think, Ben Baller, who, if I'm not mistaken, makes like jewelry or something for a lot of celebrities, and then you had him going after like the Wall Street Bets mod. Like, yeah, you're bringing attention to it, but I don't know if that's exactly what you want. And Elon kind of getting shaky with Bitcoin got a lot of people panicking, and you saw that plummet because of that. So it's
I mean,
nice to bring the attention to it, but negative in a sense that the ripple effect people with an influence have on this particular area definitely sucks, and that's what makes it so volatile.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. They bring the volatility to it. And
exactly. It's not volatile enough as is. Like
it's a good thing when it goes up. It's a good thing when it goes up. Then you get people jumping in. You know, they jump in when it's because they're fear of missing out. They jump in when it's high because Elon Musk is pumping it, and all of a sudden they buy in it. You know, Dogecoin it 60 cents, and now it crashes all the way the fuck down.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, I bought. So one of my guys I work with, he's one of my employees. He bought 100 shares of Tesla when it was at like, so now compared to what's split, right? It was 40. His average is $43, right? So he's made a shit ton of money on Tesla, and obviously I've made a shit ton of money on Dodge. And I say, I'm like your ugly redheaded step cousin that nobody friggin' wants. I said we're both children of Elon now, and he's like, "Oh, shut the hell up!" You're like, mine actually has tangibility. I said, "Mine too." No, but the funny thing about Dogecoin is that people that hold it, right, are complain and be like, "Oh, you know, Elon says this and it goes down." Listen, I mean, Dogecoin started, you know, like I said, when I got it, it was like less than half a cent, and Elon has brought it way past what I thought it would get to. I mean, we're talking, you know, it's pumped, you know, it pumped all the way to like 75 cents or something like that the other week during the SNL skit.
Yep.
And people are complaining because like, oh, you know, it tanked, it's down to like 40. You know, it's like when he's giving you a handout and it's running like, you know, so hot, people are like, oh, this is just the way it should be. But then when he says anything or, you know, pivots, and they're like, oh my God, Elon, how the hell can you screw us over? He's not screwing you over. He's just, I mean,
he's a businessman.
He's a businessman. I wouldn't even call him a businessman. He's insane. I mean, he says it himself. He's like, yeah, I'm trying to send people to Mars and put everybody in electric vehicles that are like run on like, you know, you spin it and it just goes. So I think
they pushed it out.
I pushed it. Yeah. I don't know. I think you just spin it like one of those old like little toy cars. But all in all, me personally, I think good. Any publicity is good publicity. Yes, you're going to see volatility, but it's one of those things. If you have the stones to hold it, I definitely see it going up. And going into the summer, going into next year, right now with the market as a whole being so you know, volatile, all this inflation, I think you're going to see people pivot towards crypto more because there's a, you know, like this is how much it's going to be. One coin equals this, and that's it. You know what I mean? So, Dogecoin has 5 billion coin they have every year. That's what they have. All right. Versus the American dollar, which, you know, when things go up, down, and all around, you have an inflation that you have no idea what's going to happen. So I think you're going to see more pivoting towards crypto, which is why crypto this year is the hot ticket. Whereas last year is like EV because Biden's coming in. Everyone thinks that, you know, everything's going to go green. So every year seems to have the new thing. This year, I think crypto is the big thing. I don't think it's going away right now. And I think you're going to see some of the weaker cryptos get weeded out. So like that Shiba Inu coin, the knockoff, that's not going to last.
You know I want to get into that. So real quick, Euridium, Bitcoin, Doge, Doge, however you want to say it. Russ and I go back and forth. He's calling it dog now.
Dog coin.
Dog E.
Chop it up. Dog E coin. Dog E. I don't think that's where you pronounce your E's, but you know.
What would you say?
I know.
Doge.
I can't even
you
speak
guys?
English.
What would you guys, as the crypto guys, say are the top, let's say, 5 cryptocurrencies that you would hold for the next 18 months or so?
Absolutely. Beardo, what's your take? I'll give mine after you.
No particular order. Just
no particular
5.
order. Just give me 5 that you think are solid.
Just 5 that I would take. Would still take Bitcoin. Would still take Ethereum. I'm huge on VetChain, Chainlink, and probably go Ripple XRP for the 5th one.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, and for me, I would go not in this order, but the ones I think will weed out the others. I think Bitcoin. I definitely think Ethereum. 3rd, I think will be Dogecoin. I think it will grow. That's just my personal opinion. I think it has the right people behind it with Mark Cuban and Elon. I think that will be number 3. I think VetChain. And then the 5th one, so based on how new it is, how cheap it is, I think SafeMoon. And the only reason I say this is because it's so new, it just started. I'm not saying it's going to be the next big thing, but I can see it moving over a couple of zeros in a certain amount of time. You know, once it gets onto a bigger platform with Dave Portnoy, you know, on board with it, I think you're going to see more and more people move it onto a different platform where it can continue to grow. Now that's just from getting on different platforms, not even like what it can do. But he said he's going to take it for, you know, for payment on Barstool Sports, which has a lot of merch, you know, and I think it's going to grow. So it's one of those things. It doesn't have to be the number one thing. It's just if you get in early enough, and it is a pain in the ass to buy SafeMoon. You know what I mean? So if you can get in now, let's see what happens. You know, if it gets on Robert, you know.
So Russ, I think, had to go through like 3 different exchanges.
Well,
tell us the story. What happened to you today?
It seemed that way, but in the end, once I did it, it was simple. So now I'm the proud owner of 52 million shares. So
I'm out of my mind, but
I don't even think I would even ever make it to a fucking dollar, even if it did.
Oh, hell no.
Sell it at like between 10 and 50 cents. I'd probably be rock hard.
That'd be
if it got to a tenth of a penny,
tenth of a penny, that'd be amazing. That'd be awesome.
Think about it.
I don't even, just a couple of zeros, baby. That's all we need. Couple of zeros. It sounds so easy. It's not easy.
I think Ethereum though is going to eventually catch up to Bitcoin. Especially, I think they're developing Ethereum 2.0, whatever it is, to increase the blockchain and everything, and to help build the network. And a lot of things revolve around Ethereum in order to exchange coins. And the other one, what are you guys' thoughts on Cardano, ADA?
I'm not big on it. He likes it. Lately. He likes it. I'm not big on it.
I threw a little bit in that today, and I still like Litecoin. I still think Litecoin is good for fast transactions, and it's much cheaper than that today.
It's
But what else was I going to say?
I mean, for me, some people have different opinions on crypto. I view it like each one of them doesn't really have value in terms of like producing profit. You know, it's not a stock. It's not a company.
Some do.
They're not. Some have gotten into the business of, but I'm saying like most of them are not producing cash in the same way as a stock would. So I view it as like if the right person's behind it, that's the one I want. So Dave Portnoy, Elon,
absolutely, like you said, is all news is good news.
That's it. You know what I mean? So so that's my opinion. So if the right person's behind it, I think it can go there. I like Portnoy a lot. I think he's going to be great for SafeMoon. I think he can bring it to new heights. He's a savage, and he'll just go. He'll just go. Yeah. And I think he's a degenerate gambler too. So I think I think no matter what happens with SafeMoon, I think if SafeMoon goes down 100%, he's just going to like triple his position. I don't think he's going to be like, oh, I'm out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he's got enough of a rapport that I don't think he'd be like, all right, fuck all you people. I got all you in.
Yeah. People follow him religiously, and I do not see them like him
It's
being
a
like,
cult following problem.
Now,
Cult
all you
following.
need is to get a guy like Rogan on board, and
That's
you know,
it.
these guys don't
Oh,
cult. So
forget it.
Love Joe Rogan. I mean, that's the thing. You just got to get the right person on board, and that's what did it for Dodge. You know, what I mean, like people don't even follow Elon's tweets for Tesla anymore. All they follow is for Dogecoin. Like, oh my God, he said something today. It's like, yeah, but he didn't say anything about Tesla. Dogecoin. He just said, hey, my breakfast, 2 eggs and a piece of toast is good. Dogecoin goes up 15%. I mean, you know, it doesn't
I actually
matter.
read a thing today about Tesla that I can't tell you who he is. Some guy,
Michael Burry.
Okay, that has
The guy from the
400
guy from The
something
Big Short.
million in put options to short Tesla.
So The Big
Oh,
Short,
the guy
the
from
movie?
Big Short. Yeah, Big Short.
Yeah.
So Michael Scott from The Office has been. Michael Scott has decided to short Tesla.
Yeah, Michael Burry is shorting Tesla, and he's the guy who shorted the real estate market in the movie The Big Short. And because of that, he made hundreds of millions.
Oh, yeah.
And now he's betting against Elon, which I think is a death sentence. I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will lightning strike twice? Hell no.
And
Hell no. I don't think
as far as your original question, Jerry, about the SafeMoon thing, I basically had to buy Bitcoin in my Coinbase account.
Yeah.
Open up a Bitmart account, and then I had to verify my identity and take a fucking picture of my license.
Okay.
But
with you
it
holding
is a
the
very
sign up,
secure change. But I had to transfer my Bitcoin from Coinbase to Bitmart.
Okay.
And then sell it on Bitmart to USDT, which is basically US dollars Tether.
Okay.
And then from Tether, I could buy SafeMoon.
Yep. He's like,
Jeez
now.
Louise.
So it was a pain in the ass, but in the end, it wasn't as complicated as originally seemed. You just got to get it right.
I don't know. It feels weird doing it too, but it's one of those things I feel like, yeah, I mean, if it's so difficult to get, maybe the right people haven't gotten in on it yet. Maybe when it becomes more available, you'll see it run up.
Well, it was a little bit
with every crypto, though. The more access that it gets, the more publicity it gets. The more.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing with Dodge and Ripple.
Yep.
Once Coinbase relists Ripple and lists Dogecoin, they're gonna go up. Like you said, the more access people have, and the more news about it, eventually you're gonna get people that are going, all right, fuck it, what's this all about? You know, I could just go Coinbase, put in my credit card and buy it, not have to jump through hoops. Fine, let's try it.
That's why Dodge is going up after it goes on Coinbase. That's going up.
Not for nothing. That's one of the goals of cryptocurrency as well. Accessibility for everybody, and
that's it.
Eventually, it will get there.
So let me ask you guys. I don't. If you want to name a few, you can. If you don't want to do it, I get why you wouldn't. But what scam coins are there that you guys would avoid? Or I don't know if you want to sink a company or a coin or people behind it, but there are scams out there, right? There are coins that are just a bunch of crap.
100%.
I think there's a coin out there called Ass Coin.
I was just gonna say,
I can get behind that one. I can understand that one. That one makes sense to me. I don't have
literally
that one makes sense to me. Yeah, I can get behind that.
You have like Pussy Coin. It's ridiculous. Like there's so many just.
There's ones with like rockets and you know there's a whole bunch of different ones that you're like this can't be real. I mean,
even
coin,
Carol Baskins has her own coin. It's called
you murder somebody and you get a coin. I don't know if that's the
allegedly.
My mistake. Allegedly murdered someone and fed them 2 tigers. Allegedly
my ass. She sat there and was like, "Oh, this is how you do it," you know?
Yeah. If I was to do it, I would do it this way. No, for me, I think it's the Shiba coin. I just think that there's a lot of knockoffs of Dodge, and you know I have a problem with that because I feel like it dilutes the main ones. You know what I mean? And you also see, like, I'll look on Elon Musk's like Twitter, I'll see comments and it'll be like, oh, he's talking about Shiba. It's like he's not talking about Shiba coin. He's obviously talking about Dogecoin. Why the hell would he be talking about Shiba coin? For me, that's what one of the ones that I'm like, yeah, I'm anti. You know, any knockoff. It's like this is the coin and that's it. All you're doing is diluting. You know what I mean? You know, support. That's all. My opinion.
That's also why I didn't go crazy with the Shiba or the SafeMoon, just a couple $100 each.
Yeah,
you know, the actual. I mean, Dodge still some people, but even my buddy Steve that was on the show, I texted him about some things, and you're better off staying with the stable coins as far, the Litecoin, the Bitcoin, the Ethereum. If you stay with those, you're still going to make your money. It just won't be the get rich quick schemes. But like I said, a couple $100 here and there to take a shot that one of them just goes crazy.
That's how I made money on Dodge. It's just a couple, like $300.
Exactly. Not for nothing too. Like there's still a lot of cheap utility coins too that have a lot of potential.
But here's the thing.
One sec, I'll be right back.
A joke coin or not, it's still making people shitloads of money.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, it's like the OTC stocks. Some of them are scams. Some of them are legit companies. People are investing in both. And when the music stops, you don't want to be left without a chair. That's basically the way.
Now, ironically
exactly. That's why the safe move that
Tendies coin. Like it's crazy.
So I just saw Tendies coin yesterday or the day before, and I'm still looking into it, but. I'm not a crypto guy, like I've said numerous times. The idea of a Gmail email account and, hey, send us your name and how much money you want to invest in this coin to a Gmail email just doesn't seem right with me and screams, bells and whistles that something just might be off. And I'm not saying it's a scam. It very well might not be. But a Gmail email to a cryptocurrency type thing.
Flag.
It just doesn't sit well with me.
But,
it looks like a scam, smells like a scam. Usually it is a scam.
Exactly.
I mean, Russ, I don't know if we haven't spoken about it off the show yet, but there's a coin on Twitter that it's basically, hey, it's got 3,000 or so followers now on Twitter, and it's gaining some steam with the people behind it. I won't even get into who because I don't want to acknowledge them. They don't need to be acknowledged, but they got a following behind them, and it's basically, hey, send us an email to a Gmail account with your information. And the minimum investment is $500 for pre-launch. The launch is going to be in 2 weeks or whatever it is, and let us know how much over the 500 you want to invest. And I'm not doing that. I'm sure you guys aren't doing that. But there are people doing it, and it just doesn't sit right with me.
It's interesting to say the least,
right?
Very, very
Sounds like the beginning of a Ponzi scheme.
It doesn't seem right.
But not for nothing. A lot of these cryptocurrencies are, and they're sticking around. Like it's ridiculous. Like it takes a catchy name, so it's hit or miss. It could wind up making a little bit of a run. It might not do shit, and that's the risk with all of them, really.
Certain people want to make 5, 10, 50, 100%, whatever their number is inside their head.
Yep.
If people think that they're going to get into a quadruple 0.5 currency, and it's going to move 1 or 2 decimal points, they're going to invest in it. But the minute the thing turns out to be a scam or not real, good luck, because I don't know how you're getting your money back. We're talking about Tendies and the Gmail email and send us more than $500 and everything else. And it just doesn't sit well with me now that you're back, Weirdo.
Yeah, Weirdo. I know it's weird to be called Weirdo. It's like a regular name. But to be honest, I made it up. It rhymes with Beardo, so I was like, but no, I mean, there's a lot of these that are definitely gonna be scams. And there's nothing stopping people from being like, all right, I'm just gonna take your money and run. So,
right?
So I mean, I'm only gonna get behind ones that, like I said, I feel like have the right people behind them, and that's why I picked SafeMoon and I picked Dogecoin. And I know it's kind of like, oh, we just go with the herd, but I got in a little bit before other people, so I'm gonna see, what happens. And so I was surprised that Portnoy was like, oh, SafeMoon. And I was like, oh shit.
I'm wondering what the thinking was behind it. I didn't catch the video or any comments or anything about why he decided to get involved in it. Why did he decide to go with that one and not some others? What was the reasoning behind it?
His reason was, one, it's in the early stages and it's difficult to get. So he felt like it didn't get run a lot. He said he didn't want Dogecoin because Dogecoin had already been pumped so much, which it has. Same thing with Bitcoin, same with a lot of. And then the other thing about it was that for SafeMoon, if you sell some of your shares, about 10% or something, get distributed to the other shareholders as a penalty for selling. So he views it like, all right, anyone that buys it is incentivized to hold, and then your shares also grow, and they're also burning coins. So they've already burned 246 trillion coins, and they're going to continue to burn more and stuff or something like that. So they're going to burn more and more coins. So even if the crypto, not stock, goes up, they're going to reduce the amount of like coin there are, so your coins should gain value over time.
So there's incentive to hold it, and that's why he's getting behind it.
Yes, there's incentive to hold it, and that's kind of his main reason. I was like, you know what? Why not take a shot in it? Is, you know, let's take another crack at it. You know.
So let me ask you guys quick. Robinhood, I hate it. I will never put money into it. I'm not a fan of it. The meme game with GameStop and not being able to sell Sundial and Nokia and BlackBerry and 100 other something stocks that we went through with all that. Are you guys a fan of Robinhood? And I know there's an IPO coming up soon, and I feel like these Wall Street bet guys are going to eventually plot their demise of shorting the stock when the time is right. But what are your thoughts on Robinhood and everything that's transpired with them?
So, I appreciate how Robinhood does try to make it approachable for the newest of investors traders, because they really did bring a lot of people into the market and trading and trying to invest, because they do keep it simple. However, the whole stopping of selling of securities and the nonsense that's just gone on numerous times over the past few months, it's just turned into a shit show. I don't think the IPO will do too great. Maybe when everything's said and done and gets cleaned up, they might bring in some solid numbers, but off the IPO, I don't think it's going to do too much. I think it's going to have probably get shorted. Shortly, obviously you can't during the IPO. There's a
eventually though.
Yeah, but I mean, in order to short it, you're gonna need an initial pump. Obviously, you're gonna need an additional pump to be worth it being shorted. The thing about Robinhood's IPO is pre that situation, February, whatever it was. I was excited for the IPO. I was like, oh, I can't wait to buy Robinhood IPO. This is like going to be a great IPO. People love Robinhood. And then when they did everyone dirty. Now I'm like, I can't stand them. Obviously, they cost me like, whatever it was, like $20,000 on like Sundial. I could have potentially made, and they purposely tanked the stock. I know that Portnoy expresses his same opinion when it comes to it as well. And it's just, I mean, I've looked into why they did it. I mean, I'm sure you kind of read up a little bit of why. Yeah. The reason is, I mean, some people say it's because Citadel made a phone call at 3:00.
Some people say it was a currency, a money issue, liquidity issue.
Yeah. So I mean, the main one is that Vlad is going with. It's a liquidity issue, because people don't realize when you purchase and sell a stock, there's actually a couple of days before it gets cleared. So during that time, you're actually lent the money on margin. You know what I mean? So the firm, or in this term, the firm had to lend them the money, and people were selling, buying so much that it caused Robinhood not to be able to cover. So they had to halt everything. So that situation has never really happened, and hope it never happens again. But I've noticed it still happens every now and then with like Dogecoin and stuff like that, because of the volatility in it.
Yeah.
Well, it happened today again. In the middle of the day, Robinhood had scheduled maintenance, and people couldn't sell. And I'm like, scheduled maintenance.
Yeah. How? It's during the day. Like,
was it for Dodge, or what was it for?
Yes, it was for Dodge.
Well, what's funny? I say this too, is when something goes up too fast, they pump the brakes. When something goes down too fast, they usually just let it kind of go, which is kind of, BS to me. Like, you know what I mean? So if something tanks, they're just like, oh, it just happened to tank. But if something, shoots, they're like, oh, we got to stop it. We got to halt it. So, it's kind of, BS in my opinion. I didn't believe anything Vlad had to say. And he kind of, his whole philosophy is like, oh, I'm trying to be for the little guy. I'm trying to be for the little guy. Well, shit hit the fan. And he fucked the little guy. And he fucked the little guy. Yeah. I can't, I'll swear that time. I wasn't trying to swear, but
yeah. All right. So I want to get into LTNC for a second. We tried to get Joe on our show, and it's just not working out for a number of reasons. First episode, I had Ryan on. Ryan is a home run. You guys had him on too. You reached out to us like, hey, you reached out to us saying, hey, no, we don't want to step on your toes, but we're having Ryan on. Like this, Russ, I was going through this with them before you got on the show. That's how this all started, with us talking and everything else. But then I had.
On a side note here, I think we got somebody you know in the comment section. You are so good. I want to say thank you. Appreciate it. Jerry knows who the person is.
Number one fans chiming in.
Marissa. Hi, Marissa.
We went to different schools together.
Yeah.
Back on to LTNC.
All right, so back to LTNC for a second. So we tried I had Ryan on the show. You guys had Ryan on the show. You reached out. That's how this all started.
Yep.
Then I tried to get Danny on the show, and going through the motions with Danny was difficult. There were things I couldn't bring up, things I couldn't ask. I had to basically send him my questions and topics ahead of time. And then with like 37 minutes or so of a warning on a Sunday morning, I got the okay that we're going to go live. Now with Joe, I have 4 different email addresses. I've sent, I want to say 24 tweets to the guy, and he's liked certain tweets asking for him to come on and doesn't. Yep. He doesn't write back. You guys have put out there that you are in conversations with him, and I'm going to ask you guys in a second if you can divulge some of that in a second, but I just want to go through my headache. I talked to one of the sales guys over the last, I'd say, week or so, gave him my phone number. He actually called me over the weekend to try and set up an interview time and stuff, and told me that he's got to run everything by Joe and the LTNC board, which I'm assuming is Toby McBride and Mike Holly, which are the 2 top guys ahead of Joe. So I'm assuming the 3 of them got together with Mike, one of the Mikes, the sales guys, and they put the kibosh on it today. I got a text message from Mike saying the board and Joe want me to push this down the road into the future, and that's not going to happen. Your interview isn't going to happen for a little while. And listen, I have over 100,000 shares. I've been invested in this since the Super Bowl. I got in it from the beginning at 0021. I don't know, and I guess I'm going to take heat from this. I don't even know, but I don't know why these guys are avoiding talking to us. The deal with Ryan was you got to be active. You have to be on Twitter. The co-owners of this want you to be transparent, and I get there's things you can't talk about, but talk to me, talk to you. Stop talking to the one person you're only talking to, and open up the forum to other people. And
even if it's not us, just there's
and again, if it's not me and it's you,
publicity that could be had. Yeah, there's a lot more publicity that could be had. Whether it's us, you, whether it's a local news station, whether it's using one of your multiple outlets with followers that you have to start reaching out more. I don't care if it's either one of our shows, but why hasn't there been more?
Why? I mean, now, can you guys go through? I don't know how much you want to divulge. We've spoken about this, but do you want to let everybody know what's the status with you guys trying to get him on the show as well, too? Because I mean, my story is different than yours. You guys actually have spoken to him or texted with him.
So it started like you guys, I'm sure, like we just started like responding to tweets like, hey, would love to reach out, like would love to chat with you, have you on for an episode of our podcast, yada, yada, yada. Try messaging, so on. Then he starts liking certain things that we were responding in regards to setting up an interview.
Yep.
And then we came across like email address online that we started reaching out to. Like we messaged the Joe Pavlik account. So I went digging online to see if there were any other email addresses, and I came across a couple of phone numbers. So I tried to reach out to some of the numbers, and 2 of them were dead. One of them happened to be the mailbox was full, so I sent him a text. I was like, well, I'm not gonna bust balls, and I'm not gonna like overdo it to his like personal phone, but like, hey, like Weirdo and Beardo, like we just wanted to chat with you and looking forward to possibly setting something up. Let me know if there's anything I can do on our end, yada, yada, yada. And got a text later on that day saying, okay, busy putting out fires, we'll be back soon. Something along
like a tweet. Yeah, like a tweet.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, right?
So kept tweeting, like, okay, like inevitably you're going to get something. Kept messaging him via the 2 Twitter accounts and the emails. Got another response from his personal Twitter account. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, asking to send the list of questions so he could look over it and we could start to get the ball rolling.
Yep.
So on. Still nothing yet. And now following, they're liking tweets again. So I'm even just happy with like, I can't this week, give me 2 weeks to figure something out. Like, but just some sort of communication. You're responding to certain things, but not other things. I don't know.
I don't like the idea of one person having the access and the negativity that surrounds that person and their circle. And I'm not going to mention names. I mean, if you follow the stock, you know who I'm talking about. And things leaked over the weekend with Discord chats and screenshots, and you see the way certain people react on Twitter to certain comments, and the minute someone says something negative about it, you're immediately blocked and hammered by
one thing that's
certain
tough.
people.
You can't ask questions within certain social media communities because you get attacked as if you're a basher or you're a naysayer. Like sometimes it's just
like, oh, you're a basher, you're an anti-Twitter, whatever, troll. I mean, if you want my honest opinion, I think that they used a lot of their ammunition. I think that they dropped the Manny Pacquiao situation. They dropped a lot of their information. I think that they're waiting until they have something more before taking additional interviews, because a lot of times people are going to hope for, like, the moon every time somebody comes on an interview. So I think that that's part of the reason why they're ducking it. So that way, like, it's like, all right, we're not going to take the next interview until we have something to say. That's what I think their train of thought is.
As well, going off that, one thing that it's been brought to my attention, and people have actually reached out to me, like direct messaging, asking that I should have asked Adele, but I didn't wind up asking him, was like, Twitter is their outlet for communicating with their shareholders. The Stan guy is having PR interviews, but some people are blocked by Stan.
That's an issue in my book.
Joe look like
I don't like Stan. I'll just say it. I don't even care. I was trying to avoid it because I don't want to start anything with him. I'm not a big Stan guy. I don't know. I see him as a pumper. That's just my personal opinion.
Listen, certain people don't like him. Certain people do like him. Certain people have made a lot of money off of him. There was a screenshot circulating, and somebody sent it to the E.A.T podcast Twitter page privately over the weekend of a screenshot from Discord. I'm not going to get into the details of it. I don't know if it's real or not, but the things that were in it wasn't a good look for him.
For
Stan. And the fact that for Stan and certain other people. And the fact that these guys are the PR firm and the voice, and the interview goes through this circle of people. Again, if it wasn't me, if it wasn't you, and it was Fox News, CNN, a boxing magazine that's tied to Manny Pacquiao, ESPN, anybody, nobody has access to these guys, and it irks the hell out of me that none of them are talking to anyone.
You also have big influencers behind them. You have, if I'm not mistaken, I think the guy's Yellow Tree. He's a streamer. You have
he's a gamer.
Of artists that are following. Why not try to communicate with them? And I have nothing against Stan. Like, he's making his money, and like, he's doing something right. Everybody has their own way of going about things, but
it's not the way we do it.
On behalf of running a business that has a lot of potential, up and coming. They're diversifying their brands and what they're putting out. I think that he should open up his communication if he's going to continue with the Twitter approach, to more people, whether it's one of our podcasts, whether it's one of the social media influencers behind it, whether it's a news media outlet. Regardless, it needs to be something to expand it. Because it seems like the scope is getting narrower and narrower, and I'm still holding, but it's I don't know.
That's one of the things I feel about Stan. That's one of the things I feel about Stan in general, is that, like, versus us, like, we want to talk to anybody, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, and no matter what your experience is. But Stan seems like he's like, I only want to talk to certain people and at certain times, and that's it. Like, whereas we're like willing to talk to everybody because we are not opposed to any different views. Like, we want to know what your opinion on it is, even if it's not in ours, even if it's not our opinion, you know what I mean? So I just feel like he's only in it for, like, I only want to feed people the information that I want to feed them. I want to censor anything that's not on my, best intentions. And that's the way I feel about him.
It's not a good look. It's not. You have a lot of people who invested.
It seem like they're hiding something.
Yeah. It's like, I'm going to hide everything that's not going to help with, my benefit, my benefit. That's it.
And Ryan was on our show and said, hey, Twitter is a good thing. When people do tell you something negative, they might be right. And his exact words were,
or
hey,
wrong, but at least you hear it,
If your website is trash, is what he basically said. Hey, maybe the website is trash and you need to fix it. The minute you start blocking people and the negative stuff isn't told to you, you're living inside a bubble that isn't good. And when it pops, people on the outside world like me and you who could be blocked, I'm not saying we are, but if we are blocked, we're missing all of it. And then you got to what? Create a burner account? I mean, how else are you getting your info?
I got blocked by Jim Cramer. I'm just going to say, I don't know if that's a bragging rights or not, but I got blocked by Jim Cramer. I think that's kind of cool. I was like, oh shit! I don't think I say anything controversial, but he apparently blocked me.
I mean, I've never been blocked by anybody.
I've been blocked by Jim Cramer, and I was like, wow. Now I don't know if he manages his account, probably doesn't, but I was still like, wow. I don't know what I said that pissed him off, but
anyway, my point is, I think Joe needs to start speaking to people, and sure, I would love for it to be me. You guys would love for it to be you. There are questions that need to be asked and answered. And I mean, it's been since February now, so we're now in May. It's been 3 months. People want to know, why did they pick LTNC? Why did you guys get to sit down with Ryan and go for this company, which was not Pink Current, non-reporting, was a labor company, had nothing to do with business. Yeah, why Ryan and why the company? People want to know that.
Why was Alex Guerrero involved? So
and Ryan got into some of that, but he can't say everything.
And I get that, but you don't publicize that he's in it, because that goes one or two ways. It's either A, everything's a fairy tale and it's great, Tom Brady's involved, or Alex Guerrero is involved in another scheme that has happened time and time and time again. And it sucks because you get the devil's advocate. What do you want to go with? You want everything's great and dandy, or everything sucks? And you try to find the happy medium.
I mean, certain people want to know why Twitter influencers were involved in the original Zoom call. Has anyone got an answer to that yet?
Nope.
Listen,
I would love to know
why on an official deal, like I don't know.
I'd love to know why 2 Twitter influencers were involved in a call with Alex Guerrero and the executives of Takeover. What was said that they were allowed in, and did they sign a non-disclosure? Or what inside info were they allowed to tell to their friends in their Discords? Because that happened. You know that happened.
That always happens, no matter how, I'm not supposed to say this to somebody, but I'm going to say it to the right person who can invest, my friend, my buddy, whoever, I mean, that's what they do.
It just, it bothers me. It irks me. The fact that now I was going back and forth with one of the sales guys, and I was going to ask general questions, not even get into the Tom Brady and who are the other people involved. I know they're not going to talk about that. I know they're not. But certain questions, like 3 sales guys who apparently have a resume behind each of them, left their jobs and came to work for Joe and LTNC. Why? Why did Joe pick them, and why did they come there?
Was there a prior relationship there?
Yep.
Were they a part of the process of making this particular brand? Like, there's a lot, and
there's a lot, and we don't need to get into all the secrets. But give us something.
Trying to develop and get things going, but I still think there's something more that could be said or done in this process.
I agree. Yep, definitely.
If I was running a company and I was new and pre-revenue and everything else like the way that these guys have gone, I would want the word out to everybody, whether it's a little bit of information or a lot, whatever I can say or can't say.
Exactly.
I would want it out there. And the fact that they don't do that just rubs me the wrong way. The fact that he hasn't reached out and just said, hey, guys, it's not a good time for me. Really, just reach out and tell me, hey, it's not a good time. Come back to me in a month. I mean, he hasn't even done that.
Yeah, just avoiding it. Yeah, that's definitely not the good way to do business. I agree.
It's not. But again, it's the gift that keeps on giving with Twitter drama and certain characters and everything else that goes. I follow it every day. I'm invested in it.
There's still money to be made regardless.
Let me ask you real quick before we wrap this up. Are you guys afraid of the Pink Current issue that's going to come down the pike in June and then in September with OTC? If companies aren't current, they're going to get delisted or suspended if they're non-reporting?
Yes and no. Yes, because there might be some valid companies that are still trying to work to get their currency and really try to develop. But with E-Trade, like implementing that, like that's a huge safety net, and they're really looking out for their users. So
yes,
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the same thing.
Again,
I
it's
mean,
bittersweet.
I'd say the same thing. I mean, obviously, being pink current is one of those things that allows somebody to know that you are a little bit more legitimate. Not to say that you're not on the NASDAQ or anything like that, but you want to make sure that your users are not being influenced by somebody who's just going to scam them, take the money, and run with it. So I think it's actually a good thing. I think it's going to weed out some companies that are BS, and also encourage some companies like some we've talked about to maybe go pink current sooner than later, so that way they can still be traded. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure that they can stay on it. So I think it's going to encourage some companies to be like, all right, we got to take that next step. And for the ones that are bullshit, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That's it.
All right, guys, this was great. I really appreciate you coming on. The next time we got some big crypto news or sports or something LTNC related.
Just wait till tomorrow. I'm sure there'll be some crypto something. All of a sudden, Dogecoin's at like $10 or it's at 1 cent. You never know.
We got a dinosaur going across Russ's screen right now.
Love it.
It's keeping me interested.
You got to keep people alert.
But definitely. Go ahead,
I
Russ.
want to say though, just to jump in before you get out of the LTNC. If I got a company and I get Manny Pacquiao to sign on board, I'm doing everything I can to have a fucking commercial, ads everywhere, just even have Manny. Something's wrong here. Something is wrong here.
So Manny put out a tweet of LTNC, followed Joe. Joe followed him. Haven't seen Manny drinking it yet, but they did announce. They did announce that Manny's doing a joint venture with them now, and that the product is going overseas. So it's going to get made over there. I did see that press release. We all saw it.
Yep.
But yeah, why isn't there a press conference with Joe and Manny going, hey, we're doing a live Twitter press conference from wherever, a Zoom call like this with announcing it? Why is it just a PR and that's it? Take some questions, something. There's nothing. Something just doesn't.
If Manny Pacquiao signed anything saying that he was working with me, even for it was for a day, I'd call everybody in their sister and make sure they knew. Like, that's Manny Pacquiao.
Right? I'll sign an interview. Yeah, who wants an autograph? Who wants an autograph?
Something.
Get a signed can of next level,
And I'm sure not for nothing right now, after I just badmouthed or even somewhat badmouthed the company, I'm sure the reactions on Twitter or the fact that Joe will never come on the show is going to happen, which is fine.
I'm okay
it's fine.
with it.
I'm okay with it. But
hopefully he says, you know what, I'll show you and I'll be on the next interview with one of us. You know what I mean? So let's see what happens.
I hope that is. And if it's not us, I want it with somebody different who's not been the only person to have access to him. And I want the right questions. And I want the right questions asked. And if you can give us the answers, give them. The idea of a scripted interview doesn't sit well with the thousands of people that are involved in this. It just doesn't.
Yep.
Just feeding him what he wants to say, you know what I mean, kind of thing. But yeah,
there are questions that need to be asked and questions that need to be answered. There are.
I agree.
All right, guys, this was great. Thanks for coming on. Do you want to plug your website, your Twitter, all that stuff before you get out of here?
Yeah, visit the site, www.tradingwithweirdoandbeardo.com. Same thing on Twitter, Weirdo and Beardo. My handle's Beardo Trader, if I'm not mistaken.
Mine's Weirdo Trader 1. Apparently some schmo already took Weirdo Trader, so I had to go Weirdo Trader 1, but I bet you they're not as weird as me. They're not as weird as me, I can tell you that. I don't know.
They're not wearing a hat like that, that's for sure.
That's sure as shit. I can tell you they're not wearing this hat.
The hat looks good on you.
So
I appreciate it. I think it's a thing now.
As well with the podcast, what I've really been pushing Mike and bitching at Mike for, we've been trying to pump our blog and trying to create visual learning materials to go hand in hand with the podcast that we make. So it's as current as it might be, it's episodic. You can listen to it at any time, any day, weeks from now, months from now, years from now, and you can still apply what you've listened to, what you're seeing in the blog to what's going on right now. So definitely check out the site, toss us a follow. Thank you guys for having us.
All right.
Appreciate it, guys.
Let me just say, next week on the show, we are going to have the managing attorney from Blake Harris Law. Blake Harris is a guy on TikTok. I'm not sure if you guys are on it. I created a TikTok for the E.A.T podcast page, but I haven't done anything with it yet. But he has 160,000 followers on TikTok, and he puts out 30-second or minute videos on a daily basis, basically talking about crypto, tax preparation, trusts, wills. He goes in depth about a boatload of things, how to avoid getting sued, and if you do, how to hide some money. I mean, the guy is really, really good.
I have to listen to that one.
He's going to be on next week on Monday night, May 24th at 7 Eastern. They have offices in New York City, Denver, Miami, Chicago, San Francisco, Miami, and Boston. So they're all over the place. Blake Harris is going to be on the show. You can look him up at Blake Harris Law on TikTok. And as always, follow us on Twitter at the E.A.T Podcast, Instagram. We're on Spotify. The upload will be tomorrow. And guys, thanks a lot.
TikTok.
I follow Blake. That's it. We don't
I
posted.
didn't even know we have a TikTok.
He
My girlfriend
didn't
shows me
have a
stuff.
website
I
until
don't
like 2
know.
or 3 weeks in.
Yeah,
You're gonna start making
shows me stuff
videos
on TikTok. I don't have a TikTok either.
Real quick,
I know it's hot.
Real quick, a listener reached out to Blake and said to him, "Hey, I follow the podcast. I think you would be great on it." He reached out to us, gave us Blake's email, and that's how it got together. So I mean, I didn't even know this guy.
That's awesome.
If I'm not on TikTok, I am now, but I wasn't. So I had no idea who he was until a listener said, "Hey, here's Blake's info. Check him out. If he works for you guys, he'll come on the show." So I mean, that was great. It worked out for us. Next week, it's gonna be something. I'm definitely interested in talking to him.
New to TikTok. You probably have an OnlyFans though, right? But not a TikTok, OnlyFans. Like,
all right, guys.
Don't say that. That's a
guys,
side
thanks a lot.
Appreciate it.
It's
All right,
a lot of
thanks very
fun.
much.
And I'll talk to you guys soon. Definitely come back on again when the time allows. All right.
All right, awesome.
Get together in
Thank you,
Boston or
guys.
New York.
Yeah, and next time you're in New York or we're in Boston, we're definitely gonna get together for some drinks. Absolutely.
You let us know, fellas. All right.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot from New York and Boston. Good night, everybody.
Have a good one.